Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Old Man Logan, issue number 23. This is the penultimate issue in this particular storyline, and Wolverine, Old Man Logan, Patch, basically Patch at this point. Logan comes to a point when he was in Madripoor, back when Wolverine Volume 2 one through, that was like the longest running series. When he originally was in Madripoor hanging out, he had the eye patch on like Nick Fury, but on the other eye, and he called himself Patch. Spider-Woman was there, all that good stuff. We don't actually get to see Jessica Drew here, but anyway, it was a really good, fun time. And the idea here is that he's back there and some kid steals his medallion, his amulet. He has to run, he has to get it, and he has to fight some people along the way. And there's just always a bunch of bouncing around and good stuff like that. Nothing really particularly great happening. There is a point, however, where he's playing baseball with the X-Men. Gee, imagine that. So he realizes that Bobby is behind him, Iceman, catching, and he turns around and Bobby says, "Hey, listen." And Bobby's, of course, being all sorts of weird and whatnot, but he targets Bobby very specifically, and he says, "In the future," and he tries to give the date, he gives the location, he tries to give as much information as he can. He says, "My body is in a warehouse in New Jersey, a storage facility, and it's there, and you've got to go back and get it. You know, just above all things, remember this." And nobody seems to understand what's going on. Cyclops even runs over, and this is the kind of weird part. He says, "Logan, what is all this?" He says, "This doesn't concern you, Slim." So that's why I say that he specifically targeted Bobby. It's not just the idea that he was the closest to him. He wanted him for a very specific reason, and that's interesting. All right, but all those conspiracy theories aside, he eventually ends up in the wasteland, and he goes and he sees that his family is actually still alive. It's before the Hulk family killed his family. So he drops the amulet on the ground and stomps on it. Yeah, so apparently he's got no way of getting back home. So that is very interesting. That is very interesting. Guys, I'm going to give this comic a B-. This was better than most of the other issues in this particular storyline. It is really slow. It's buying a comic book that literally you know that nothing particularly special is going to happen until the final issue. And if at all, maybe something will happen there. Either way, this was pretty cool, in and of itself. And yeah, that's really all I got in an issue that just didn't do too much for me. All right, guys, Professor Bell, Comic Book University, class dismissed.